wants to be the first to say goodbye. Little Gladys Knight for you.
To weed. Weed doesn't change who you are.
I have all this weed that I don't smoke.
Why don't you smoke it? That's the big question.
I buy weed for an old man who had I met him years
ago.
Hold
on. Why is this the story of the podcast today?
The old man?
Yeah.
Greg's old man?
Did you do a weed one yet?
No, but that's a great topic.
So there's an old man that I know.
He's got a story. Well, anyway.
He's a nice man.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Oh, great.
This is the
pre-show.
Yeah, great.
And he broke his hip. He also has Crohn's. And I know his wife also.
Some bowel issues there.
He lives in Forest Hills, Queens.
Mm-hmm.
And I go over there and I bring him weed, but every time I buy him some, I take a little bit. Just like a
little pinch.
Yeah, finder's fee.
And because I don't smoke, it collects.
Right,
it's a variation of 16 different kinds, I would say. 17.
It's all right. It's okay. But, I assumed he doesn't just smoke whatever. Do you get him just whatever? Do you go to a guy in the street, or do you actually have a beeper dude that drives a bike to your house?
I have a very professional delivery service.
Great.
You have to use an encrypted app. They send you a confirmation text that says 60 minutes or less. It's never been more than 60 minutes.
Right.
They're there.
It's just been decriminalized in New York.
Yeah.
The weed. It's great. It's also decriminalized here in the city of Atlanta.
Why do you take a little bit of it and you don't really even enjoy it?
Because somewhere in my mind, one day I'm going to want to smoke all this.
Yeah.
It's true. Once upon a time, probably when I was your age, I could get a quarter ounce, and a quarter ounce of weed would last me like 6 months.
Yeah. What's it last you now?
A quarter?
Yeah.
Lucky to see the end of the week for sure. Yeah. I can smoke a quarter in a couple of days if I really tried.
How are you smoking? Are you smoking
yeah.
it? Oh, okay. Because so many people have moved
Smoking
on to
in a
so many
bowl.
different ways of ingesting.
Edibles are really big now, but
Yeah.
I find it to be too unpredictable of a high. And it's really draggy. Like, edible will knock you on your ass.
Even
really
if it's a
easy.
specific, like, this one is
Even
for
if
this.
it's a sativa, but you don't want to, it's easy because the dosages are really hard to judge how much of the thing you should eat.
Yeah, that's a good
it
point.
really boils down to your own body chemistry, right? How it reacts to this.
Maybe even what you've eaten that day or the previous day, stuff like that.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm not a dietitian.
The thing with
You're not?
edibles is they take so long. The onset can be so long.
Well,
that
that's the thing.
people, this
They
isn't
fuck up.
working.
The number one mistake
And
is
it's
that
tasty, right? You're like, I want more of that
a lot
brownie
of time it's
or
brownies
whatever.
or gummies.
Yeah.
It's like candy.
Yeah.
And so, you have to wait at least an hour. And if nothing's happening in an hour, wait another hour.
Yeah.
Don't eat more because
That
that's in a bad time.
That is the rule.
Okay.
Because I got some 10 milligram gummies,
Mm-hmm.
and I would take half of that.
Yep.
And
Yep,
that's
half
that's
a 10
enough.
milligram is well enough for me to get me through like an entire day of like, oh, I feel nice.
And it lasts a long time. So if you go to a bad place, you're fucked.
But if
You're
you
stuck.
if you eat too much, it's just like you're like, oh no, oh fuck.
This
And
is
then
the
you
rest
get
of my
paranoid,
life.
And then it's just like bad scene.
There was a time I took a half. It didn't do anything, but I waited it out. Then I fell asleep. Woke up in the middle of the night high as fuck. And that was
Wow.
scary in its own right.
Yeah.
It was just still too much.
Just because for a moment you don't really know why you're feeling that way.
But at that point, I feel like it took 3 hours, 4 hours to even hit me.
Metabolize? Is that what's happening?
It does. Your liver enzymes do.
Yeah.
It becomes a different THC.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
So it hits
Something
you
more
differently.
powerful, right?
I don't like being high. I
Oh.
stopped getting high. Whenever I would try to get high, all I would do was focus on the muscles in my cheeks and felt like they were really tight. And so I was always just going like, trying to loosen them up.
How long ago has that been?
Oh, like very, very long
It's
time.
a very different game now.
It is.
Because of all the different varieties that are out there, they can really tell you what effect it's going to have on you.
Yeah, but
And
then you do have
so-
to smoke it.
No, you can get those essential oils and rub them on your temple and neck.
Yeah, true
Oh.
that.
It'll
But
seep right in.
yeah, let it seep.
You don't get high off those, do you?
Sure, if it's THC in it.
Oh,
you
okay.
do, not
I
just
feel like all
CBD.
of those things say like, there's no THC, don't worry.
Well, yeah, it's just the CBD oils.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's wrong with smoking it? You take a puff.
I
Like
know.
all
Yum,
you
yum,
need
yum,
is a
yum.
puff.
Yum,
And
yum,
being
yum.
a one puff Johnny, which I was for years, it's great.
One puff
You
Sally.
take it like, you just like a puff, and then you're giddy for hours, and
Yeah.
then it goes away, and
Yeah.
then you can just get in your car and drive home safely.
It's true. And alcohol for me has been a little bit of a weird
it's a bad
thing
scene,
for me.
man. It turned
Well, 'cause
on
I'm
me
on
at some
Zoloft.
point. Right.
So now it's a different feeling when I drink. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't really feel that affected. So I kind of want to drink a little bit more to try it. Like I'm reaching for that old feeling that I can't. I don't get drunk anymore, but I feel like I'm just not getting the same thing. And I still continue to drink just because, like,
give it the time.
It's a thing, you know. You go out.
So do you feel
for a
anything?
Drink. Yeah, a little. Not like I used to.
It's just not getting there.
Yeah,
it's like a heroin addict too.
It's like I'm trying to have an orgasm. I just can't get there.
You're never gonna get
chasing that dragon.
Yeah,
right. So apparently, I've never done the heroin, but apparently, the first time you do heroin is the greatest thing of all times.
Yeah.
And then it's never like that ever again, but that's what you're always chasing, and people get hooked on, because they still feel good when they're chasing it, but they're always trying to attain that first, like, holy fuck, this was a mind-blowing experience, and it's just not that anymore.
Like
because you have the number of receptors in your brain, they're much less, so they're just overwhelmed, they're flooded, and then very quickly your brain's all right, grow more of those to handle this influx of drug. And so as long as those are there, and even if
to handle it,
even if you take time
so it
away,
overwhelms it, which makes you have like some sort of euphoria or something.
As Lucky said, it'll always be there, the feeling a little bit, not like that first time,
not the same way.
Because even if you stop, the receptors just kind of retreat, and then after your brain remembers, and it's like, oh, this again, this will come back.
I feel like it's like eating Doritos. Anytime I eat Doritos, I'm always wishing they tasted the way I remember them tasting.
Do you feel as though Doritos has changed the recipe?
I think that my palate has changed, and I'm like, I want that. I'm a kid, and I finally get some Doritos, and they're amazing. And then now I'm eating them. I'm like, these are okay.
I have a thing about that. So at Dragon Con this weekend, I have a buddy that flies into town. He's from the Bay Area, I believe. And he flies in every year for Dragon Con, and he always dresses as Mayor McCheese. And it's this brilliant, just perfectly homemade-looking Mayor McCheese costume. You know what I mean? It's not one of those like, wow, that guy's clearly a professional. It's like, oh, no, a man made that.
Right.
But it's really good for being like a non-pro made Mayor McCheese.
Like a neighborhood Halloween costume or something.
When I ran into him Friday night when I was wandering around down there, and he was by the entrance of the Hyatt, and I was like, oh, hey, Kishore, what's going on? And he was like, oh, dude, you're just in time. I'm waiting for a delivery of 50 cheeseburgers that I'm going to then walk around and pass out.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he's like, let me give you the first cheeseburger. And so the cheeseburgers arrive, and he gives me a McDonald's cheeseburger, which I have not had in a million years.
Yeah.
Goddamn delicious. Oh, my God.
I had McDonald's the other night.
Delicious.
The other night, just walking home on a whim, 24-hour McDonald's. I said, yeah. It just hit.
Yeah.
I went in. The touchscreen.
It's one of those things. It's like, oh, they know how to keep it going, because it was literally like, yes, it still is everything I want it to be.
And you could say it's lesser qualities than some of the other.
Sure, the shit's probably completely different than it was when I was a child in the 70s, but man, it still tastes exactly the same.
To me, I can get halfway through one of those burgers, and I'm like, ugh.
Really?
It's the same with Taco Bell. We were talking about this the other day. Taco Bell, I feel like a third of the way into eating Taco Bell, I'm happy until I get there, and then I'm like, whoa, this is so gross.
You know what's going to save Taco Bell is the Beyond and Impossible meats that are coming out. Taco Bell, I just was reading a piece about all that stuff, and this article claimed, so it's not my own thought, this article claimed that if Taco Bell just goes full in and embraces this whole thing, it'll be the #1 fast food. And it's true. Because have you had any of those Impossible Burgers or anything like that?
Yeah, I had the Burger King one.
The Impossible Whopper?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good.
Because Grindhouse Killer Burgers here in Atlanta, they also sell the Impossible Burger, and I cannot tell the difference. I do not know that I'm not eating. And in fact, I just had one a couple of weeks ago, and me and a buddy were eating, and halfway through the burger, I was like, oh my God, this is a fake burger, because we were talking in the whole time and everything like that. And I was like, I totally forgot this wasn't real meat. Like it tastes exactly. And then by the time we were done and we were getting up to walk out, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Right. I feel light, and I just had a purely vegetarian thing, and I did not. And I was like, dude, if they just slipped this into fast food everywhere and never told anyone, nobody would ever know.
Well, if Taco Bell becomes the #1 fast food, we're going to be like that movie with Wesley Snipes.
We're going to be like Demolition Man. Come on, man. We're going to be wiping our butts with 3 seashells and
having sex
eating at
through
Taco
those
Bell.
things with
I want to do it old school.
Sandra Bullock.
When I was frozen,
I learned how to knit.
people used to just have sex with their penises.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ, and today we have our very first guest, which, let me set this up. People want to know what's going on when we have guests on this show. We'll give a guest a plug. But
Sure.
That's probably about it. Because we want to stick to the format of the show. So we bring people in, they pick the topic, and that's what we talk about. Today, Lucky Yates is with us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Greg. Hello, Autumn.
Hello, Lucky.
How are you all? We started in the radio together, the three of us.
We
How
sure
fun is
did.
that?
I know. It's been, we are always trying to figure out how many years, 17 years?
No, at this point, it's been 18 years.
Yeah,
Well, has it really been that long?
2001,
Wow.
I started at
Yeah,
the
sure.
station.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Autumn at 96 Rock, and Autumn started there in 2002.
That's,
And you were
I
around.
was around, yeah. I started right around the same time Autumn did.
Yeah, it's when we first met.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. It was
Crazy.
the best. We were at the pregnant bikini pageant. You
Something
were a,
like that.
you
at
were a
the Dave and
judge.
Buster's, yep.
I filled in as a judge
Uh-huh.
just because I was pushy and asked if I could do it. And
We sat next to each other and just had a blast.
yep. And after the show ended, we stayed up there and pretended to have our own little radio
Oh,
show.
we did. Yeah, right on. It
I
was
was like,
good, as I recall.
love this guy.
Yeah.
That's
All
a
right.
nice bonding experience right from the get-go.
It was like we were doing a podcast before those even existed.
It's
They
true.
didn't exist.
We had the idea first.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sitting around and talking to a spoon.
You could have put them on a tape or a CD and handed them out on the street like the rappers in New York do.
Yeah.
Hey, listen to my music. You take it, and then they ask for money.
The
Like,
mixtape.
Yeah, but
There's
the,
a lot of
the
good
thing
stuff
is, you
on those
think,
mixtapes, though.
But what you think you're getting is someone who just wants to get their music out there. So, all right, I'll give it a chance, and then they demand the money.
Right.
well, I mean,
They sort of
buy more
make-
tapes.
They make you take it, but then they're also like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah, but how much is it?
And then they won't take it back.
How much money is it?
Then they won't take it back.
Can you give
I-
them $1?
No,
You can't.
it's
give
usually
them
10
$1.
to 20.
Well, then no, I don't.
That's
This is too
what?
expensive.
Yeah.
Well, you're buying good music, is what they're telling
But
you.
I'm
That's
not,
what you would
but
pay
I
for.
I didn't set out today, sir, to buy music. I set out
To walk
to get
this
myself
way.
some new socks,
Yeah, or a sandwich, possibly.
perhaps a sandwich,
Which,
a delicious sandwich.
Yeah, Lucky gets to pick our topic today. So you wanted to talk about
I picked sandwiches long time. It's always my first go-to. I don't know. We sit around and talk about sandwiches or whatever.
which is great, which is perfect for our show. That's what we do. We'll talk about fill in the blank or whatever.
I survive on sandwiches. It is pretty much the only thing that I eat.
I find it to be the perfect food. There's several perfect foods, but a sandwich is like just, it's so
Well, let's go through.
good going, Earl of Sandwich or whoever that
Yeah.
guy was at the gambling table that needed a hand snack. That's the story behind
I know.
them. It
Do you
was
think
like
that that's
some-
real? There must
Who
have been
knows?
someone who put
Legends.
something between a bread.
Dude, legends, yeah.
Yeah. But that is the if you look it up, that is what
Right.
comes up. It's the Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah, he's the only person that ever thought, I'm going to put meat between these breads.
Yeah.
No. people
John
in-
Montague.
John Montague was his name?
Yeah. Well, there's
He wasn't a
He was
Capulet.
the Earl of Sandwich.
He was the fourth Earl of Sandwich.
Mhm.
Legend has it, and most food historians agree that
Mhm.
Montague had a substantial gambling problem that led him to spend hours on end at the card table. So they agree.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a
Right. It will.
Well, depending on the sandwich,
But here's the
it's
deal.
it's a
The
hand
people-
food,
the
but it can
people-
fall apart.
The people in the kitchens that are working for these rich jerks sitting around gambling tables, they have been doing this probably for hundreds of years.
Right.
But it just never made its way upstairs because you had to present a lavish, course
Yes.
for them. And so, this is probably common people food back then. Of
Right.
just like walking around with your meat between a couple of pieces of bread while you're doing your other work.
Which
so
that
a man doesn't yell at you.
that trend continues. Common people food grits are now $17 a bowl.
Yes.
Pierogies are $5 a piece.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's disgusting
Right.
to me.
I used to say that about the Irish pubs that you'd go to, and you get bangers and mash for
Mhm.
14 whatever. You're like, this is the poorest of foods.
Yeah.
But we put our own spin on it.
Yeah,
I took the
I put
grits
some
and added
sage on
some.
it.
Yeah, I was
Right.
going to say coriander.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. Some shrimp in there also. Okay,
Yeah.
the shrimp can drive up the price. I understand it's an expensive food.
Shrimp and grits are a completely different dish than just grits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grits are like a side dish. It's like, sub fries, right? Like you're just like, oh yeah, sure, and then some grits. You don't eat
sub
grits
fries,
as a meal.
Substitute fries.
Yeah.
What do you work in the restaurant industry?
Lower than fries.
Okay, so I thought, listen, like when you're working a restaurant, if you put in the menu in the order, you're like sub fries, grits.
I'm not talking about that.
The thing with the sandwich, though, I think it can hold its value. It doesn't go. There are certainly some restaurants that have very expensive sandwiches, but because they're still readily available at cheap places. I live in New York. Bodegas have them. Bodegas don't have grits, for example,
right?
Or pierogies. So these specialty restaurants, like specialty, I put in quotes because it's just stupid white people who steal other cultures' foods and sell them as their own.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the availability of the sandwich, I think it remains a value still to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. A sandwich is always appropriate.
What kind of sandwich do you have typically, and what is your dream sandwich?
Oh, I don't know that I have answers to
tough
any
questions.
of these.
I mean that. It's actually...
What sandwich do I have
tough.
typically? That's a tough one. My go-to is
your go-to.
Generally, if I'm just going to keep some items on hand to make sandwiches with that I'll enjoy over the course of time, I will get like a good roast beef or a good smoked turkey. It's generally one or the other.
This is you going to the grocery store and getting the
if
supplies.
I get things, like
go to the
I'm
deli
gonna
counter.
yeah, right.
Boar's head? You sticking with the boar's head?
I'll go boar's head, but like if you go to a good, like I go to the DeKalb Farmers Market,
okay.
and their roast beef that they make in house is amazing. It's always the best, and it's slightly cheaper than the boar's head, and so why not?
I would like to say that if you don't have an option of a fresh roast beef, just pay for the boar's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
go
No, do
with
not
the turkey butterball.
Don't go
because
cheap.
it's-
Don't go cheap. With any of your lunch meats, don't go cheap. It really does make a difference. Now, if you have to, I understand. And if you don't buy lunch meat from prepackaged, don't. If it's hanging,
Yeah. If it's in those little cartons that you can use later for Tupperware.
The only thing you should get there is like your bologna. Because bologna carries an expectation
it's fine.
that's just like
It
it's
is what
going to
it
be
is.
cheap, whatever. There will be bologna at your deli counter, and it's a better bologna that's what's in those packages, but it's still bologna.
Is
it's
bologna
just
flattened out hot dog?
fat hot dog? It's
Okay.
a giant hot dog,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
How, salami, though, which is
Ooh.
a cured meat.
I'm-
Prepackaged, I think, can be okay.
That makes sense
yeah,
too.
true that. I'm not a big fan of salami.
Maybe if you
as it
do
is.
go to a deli and they do have a variety of salamis, that might be different. But just for your everyday sandwiches, spend money on the better meats, like the deli meats. But I feel like a prepackaged salami would be fine.
Salami's just too overpowering. In a sandwich, it's like
and sometimes
if you throw
it's very
bacon
fatty
into it.
and greasy.
I don't enjoy bacon on things like people do. Like I detest a bacon on my hamburger.
It dominates flavor.
It dominates. Like you will taste bacon over everything. And fuck off, bacon.
I like a cheeseburger with cheddar and maybe a little bacon,
Yeah,
some
say
red
no.
onion.
But you don't, at that point, just mainly taste the bacon.
Maybe I do, but I like it. So maybe really what I should ask for is just like a barbecue and bacon and cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Bacon and cheese sandwich. No, that sounds so gross because bacon is so fatty, but like to eat a bacon and cheese
Have
sandwich.
you never done that?
No.
Make like a grilled cheese with bacon and then, I'm sorry, you dip it in ketchup.
Oh my Christ. Autumn.
I have a problem with
You
sandwiches.
you also have a problem eating like a hillbilly. What's going
you'll find
on
out
there?
later how I make sandwiches, which is disgraceful.
No, I'm excited to hear this.
My dad, when I was a kid, used to eat peanut butter and bologna sandwiches, but he grew up very poor.
My family talks about mayonnaise and butter sandwiches.
Oh, man. I used to eat butter sandwiches when I was a kid.
Yeah?
They like butter and sugar. My mom would make, and it was like, such a treat.
It's a vehicle for such combinations.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can just put anything you want.
Anything, sweet, savory, it doesn't matter. Anything can be sandwiched.
Nutella, banana slices.
You can have the entire Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like you can make a turkey,
Yep.
cranberry. I mean, you can throw mashed potatoes on there, but don't. You
No,
can put
that's
dressing
too
on it though.
smooshy.
But if you're
Not
putting
right.
dressing or stuffing, whatever you call it regionally, between bread, you're just putting bread on bread.
Yeah. Well, there is a difference between dressing and stuffing.
Tell me more.
Stuffing is made
In
inside the
right?
bird.
Yeah,
Dressing
whatever.
is,
But everybody still calls it.
I know,
stuffing.
whatever they want.
I mean, stovetop stuffing sells an instant stuffing that
That's
you
true.
make on your stovetop.
No, they put that inside a bird and then they dried it out.
No, I think it is important. It's the differentiation between lava and magma. You want to stick with that, right?
What's the difference?
Magma's within the earth. Lava is once it comes out of the earth.
I didn't know that.
So dressing is the lava of
dressing is
roasted
the lava
bird.
of it.
Of stuffing, right?
So for me, I don't
Magma?
care, Lucky, if you don't stick to it. I'm gonna make sure that I'm technically correct with the stuffing and dressing now that I know. So thank you, Anna.
Oh, you're welcome. The
all
Thanksgiving
right,
turkey sandwich.
Yeah, but I got my roast beef. I'm gonna get me probably a nice Swiss cheese.
Of course.
Hold on. How thin is the meat cut? What's the?
Oh, I like it thin.
For roast beef.
For your roast
Yeah,
beef.
you don't want a thick roast beef.
No.
I don't think
Yeah,
anyone.
I want thick slices of.
That's like a steak sandwich at that
unless
point.
I'm making unless I have a roast turkey that I'm then making sandwiches out of, I want my lunch meat to be thin.
It depends. If you are getting lunch meat from the deli counter and they're slicing it in the thing and it came in the package, then thin slice. If it's from a turkey like Thanksgiving, like you've carved
you
it,
thick.
you want thick.
Of course.
Yeah.
Those deli people
Pieces
can
of turkey.
be very lazy sometimes. If you don't specify,
Yeah.
they're going to do it thick. You get a pound of the meat.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they're done
Here's 8
quicker.
slices,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There
I
you
only had
go.
to move my arm 8 times.
And shaved is what I really enjoy. It's so thin and it falls apart. Doesn't
Yeah.
even have
Shaved. Look at you.
They hate it.
He likes them
Oh, I'm
shaved.
sure.
You
they
should
do.
see the disdain on people's faces.
But I'm looking at turkey. I like it shaved.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Like it's a baby.
Yeah.
Shave it.
Shave that roast beef.
Oh,
Why
gross.
are you sexualizing my deli meats?
I don't know. Autumn
Shaved.
started.
The point is
I
the
always start
disdain that these people show when you ask for it. Because if you ask for a pound of shaved roast beef, it takes a while. It probably takes 50 back and forths on the deli slicer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the grocery store that's near me, they offered an option where you can order electronically from the kiosk, go do your shopping, go pick it up. So in order to avoid
The shame of
or
looking
either-
at someone in the eye.
yes, I put it in there. I picked it up. It wasn't shaved.
Yeah,
They
right.
just- they just
faked
skipped it.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
They don't
He's
have to
not
look
here
at him.
looking at me.
Right.
So I'm going to do
And
it
what's he
anyway I
gonna
want.
do?
Yeah,
Come
bring
back?
it back.
I didn't.
How thick was it?
I mean, it was still thin, so it was fine.
But it wasn't shaved. It wasn't like chipped. Is there a difference between thin, like shaved, and chipped?
No idea.
Because I've heard of chipped roast beef, right?
Creamed chipped
Oh.
chipped beef on toast.
Shit on a shingle.
That's what they used to call it, apparently.
Ugh. Ugh. What is the cream? What is the creamy stuff?
It's just creamy sauce, like probably cream of mushroom soup or
No.
some goddamn thing that you put over toast.
No.
It is absolutely, like let's feed a lot of people with a little bit of ingredients
Yeah.
here. So we're gonna
Fat
put it on
and
fatty
protein.
get it on bread.
Bread.
Yeah, let's just fill up their bellies and get them out of here. I remember I was in elementary school one time, and that was on the menu that day. And there was a kid in my class named Randy Shapik. And his
Isn't it amazing you just remember these
I know.
people's names?
the whole Shapik family was a real Lulu family. But anyway, his mom was one of the lunch ladies that was sort of would stand and just corral
Sure.
kids into the right lines and everything. And I remember when we were going into the gymnasium cafetorium that we ate in, I was like, "Hi, Mrs. Shapik. Hey, kids, it's cream chip beef on." She also talked like a trucker.
Uh-huh.
Cream chip beef on toast today. In the Army, they call that shit on a shingle. And we were in 3rd grade. And we're
Wow.
wow, Miss Shapik said shit. Hilarious.
All right, so moving on to the cheese. You were starting to talk about the cheese.
The Swiss.
Like a nice mellow cheese for this
Oh.
because I'm going to throw some horseradish sauce onto my roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
As well as something green like a nice leaf lettuce or spinach or arugula. Is
Wow.
always delicious.
Wow, you're putting a like a leaf
Oh,
on your
yeah.
roast beef?
Oh, dude.
I
You got to get some roughage in there.
I
man.
agree
You're
with you, but
throwing down a lot of beef and
Cheese and bread.
Yeah.
I get it. I
Need
get that
something to
idea,
break it
but
up.
I don't think I want a leaf,
You got
lettuce.
to.
not even.
Just meat and bread?
That's
That's what you want on your sandwich?
I'll tell you later what my horrible
All right.
sandwich is.
All right.
you're really building this up.
It's not good.
I hope it meets expectations because
I'll
we're getting
tell
there.
you.
With
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're going. These are softer vegetations that you're putting on your sandwich.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
not,
like.
it's not like a romaine or something.
or an iceberg, shredded iceberg. Which are
iceberg is.
There's no
it's just
nutritional value.
No,
It
I'll say-
adds
I
a
mean,
texture.
It's got a nice. It's got
A
a
crunch,
nice
though,
thing
for
to
the
it, but it's it's the poor man's lettuce.
well, and that's what I enjoy in the sandwich is the
Crunchy.
poor man's lettuce.
Crunchy water.
It is the crunch. Maybe I should just try water chestnuts at that point. Just dump them
it's
on
been
a
a long
sandwich.
time.
Or like
since
bib lettuce, maybe. That might be a good one because it's sort of a softer
leaf,
one, but
yeah,
it's a little
the-
crunchy in the
I
stem.
don't know.
You know?
Huh, interesting. Maybe I'll try. I'll go back to the iceberg and see what's up. It's been a long time since I've eaten iceberg
Make sure
lettuce.
it's shredded though, not the leaf. Don't put the
my
leaf
God,
on
I
there.
have to- no,
If
because
you're
you got to buy it pre-shredded. I don't want to.
I mean, if you're making it home-
shred
okay.
it myself.
No, you want to buy the thing and then
Otherwise it'll
slam it on the
brown.
counter
Yeah.
to take the little spine out. That's the best part.
Well, what I see, Lucky's making his own sandwiches. I just go to the bodega Genuine Deli, as I call it,
Gendel.
where the guy knows my name, so sometimes I have to, and he knows me and talks about me
You don't know me.
to other
Gendel.
people. Says, "Look, white boy's coming."
Mm.
Call him white boy.
I have
Is
to
that what they call
avoid.
you?
I have to avoid that place, and call me white boy. Hey, what's up, white boy?
What area of New York do you live
I'm
in?
in Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
Oh, great.
He knows a lot about my life.
Wait, and you go all the way to Queens to give a guy weed? That's
Yeah, I take
crazy.
the Long Island Railroad from
Jesus
Atlantic
Christ.
He's
to-
Greg's old man.
out to Jamaica. I watch the Yankees games with him.
I want that. I want some goofy old man to smoke weed with and watch Yankees games.
I'm telling you, it's actually very enjoyable.
I'm sure it's the best. It's really
I talked to
is
his
a
wife,
dream.
a former high school principal
Oh,
from New
great.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
How did
it's
you?
a-
Anyway, let's.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This will be a future topic.
Yeah,
Greg's
it has
old
to
man.
be. It has to be.
I'll bring you all up, and we'll just do a broadcast from his. All right.
Okay.
Great. Oh man, I would talk to that man on a microphone for hours.
I think he'd love it.
Really?
Maybe
Oh,
I'll
that would be
propose
the
that to him.
best.
Okay.
Anyway, that can it's a different topic for a
Mhm.
different time. The bodega, quickly though, I do have to avoid it sometimes because he knows everything about my life or a lot of things. I broke up with my girlfriend. He's like, "Where's your girlfriend?" And for weeks, I didn't even want to tell him that we broke up because I didn't want to face the questions.
Right, yeah.
From a man, I'm just going to buy
Doesn't matter.
seltzer
No.
and sandwiches
He's your,
from.
he's your local, your neighborhood. It's not grocer isn't the right word, but he's your bodega guy. Like, yeah, he's
But it is a nice
a part
thing.
of your community.
There's certainly part of me that enjoys having that
Of
instead of
course.
just a cold
Yeah.
interaction every time. Autumn was in New York, and she went to that bodega, and I had to avoid it because I didn't want the questions. I was
Yeah.
still had a girlfriend at that time. I didn't want the questions. Who's this?
Yeah. Who was that girl you were with?
Yeah. Okay, back to the sandwiches.
all
though.
right.
The,
Soft,
the,
yes.
the lettuce, because I'm having
Soft
it made.
leaves.
I'm having it made for me, so it is different. I understand if you don't want to chop your own iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
So it makes
Uh,
sense.
And then the aforementioned horseradish or some sort of spice. Got to have some spice.
You do mustard at all in the roast beef? Just
I don't.
horseradish.
No,
Not
I'll
on
do
roast beef.
horseradish.
Yeah, spicy mustard, please.
I mean,
On-
you can, but I typically shy away from mustard on my sandwiches for some reason. I don't
What
know.
about like a turkey sandwich with a grainy mustard?
No,
No,
turkey
turkey's
sandwich mayo.
Yep, I'm
It's
with
mayo
Lucky
all
on
the
that.
way.
Oh.
Mayo and a shit ton of pepper. I will grind. I
Ooh,
will
yeah.
grind pepper for like a minute solid
Yeah.
onto it.
Turkey with pepper, for
Mhm.
sure.
So good. Now that being said, I don't consider that to be the best sandwich there is.
That's just your go-to.
What was the bread though on this sandwich?
Oh, a good bread. I enjoy a ciabatta.
Oh.
A nice ciabatta.
Are you
or
toasting
any
the
kind
bread?
of green. It just depends on the mood. Go with what I'm feeling at the
Flexible
moment.
too, huh?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Outside of the creativity, sandwiches lend a flexibility
yeah.
to
Yeah.
strike the mood of the same sandwich. I'm
You
not
have
talking about
to.
the innovation that goes with different ingredients. The same sandwich can be done
So many different ways. So many different ways.
We're on the same page with
We're
this.
totally. I consider the ultimate sandwich to be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Ooh, I like that you've come back down to earth with your PB&J.
I know, not everybody can eat them because there are nut allergies that exist.
Mhm.
But if you can eat peanuts and you're not eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, even as an adult, you are a fool.
Yeah.
It is the greatest.
Still
it's
grape jelly?
savory, it's sweet. You can do whatever your style is.
Because my mom
man.
uses apple jelly, and I hate it.
Really? You
Yeah,
can't
it's
get
not
into
right.
It?
It's just not
Okay,
right.
right on. Well,
Raspberry
Raspberry's
preserves with the
amazing.
seeds.
Strawberries preserves, blackberry, anything. I prefer berry jellies and
Yeah.
jams to the grape, but I'll eat the shit out of a peanut butter and grape
Oh,
jelly
yeah.
sandwich.
Tradish.
It's fucking delicious. It's such a good sandwich. Savory, sweet, never fails to satisfy.
Can I tell you? I feel like I feel like the chip that goes with a sandwich is very important. I don't think I want a sandwich without a chip.
Even a PBJ?
Oh, you got to have
chips?
Fritos with the peanut butter and jelly. 100%.
Fritos specifically.
Fritos are the best chip for a peanut butter and jelly.
Interesting.
If you want to get something else, then you go with the crinkly topped ones, not the like Lay's.
You got to go like a Ruffles.
Yes, the Ruffles. Yeah, because I don't know what it is. Sometimes those skinny, like just the Lay's ones are too like there's nothing to it.
I never eat chips with a PBJ.
Oh, I can't. I don't want that. I don't really want the peanut butter and jelly without chips. But yeah, Fritos are the best way to go.
Interesting. I don't know that I've had Fritos in probably over a decade.
Oh, it's great.
Some Fritos.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a bar that had Fritos out in a bowl that everyone had their hands in, but I still ate them. And they were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Fritos in a bowl.
Fritos are nice.
At a bar,
community,
not at somebody's house, right?
Those community snacks that some bars put out, they are strange. Popcorn's a big one, but you're supposed to scoop it yourself, but they don't clean those baskets. I know there's no...
Oh, no way.
Yeah, no, they just stack them and put them right back there. No, yeah, absolutely
Those grubby, filthy hands after riding the subway.
That's what I've heard about like Slurpee machines and icy machines. Like the people at the gas stations are not cleaning the inside of that.
Same with the coffee, yeah. No,
oh, the coffee, yeah.
Any of those coffee, those don't get cleaned.
Especially on airplanes. Ever.
You don't get coffee on an
I will.
airplane?
Oh,
yeah, I do too.
I drink the shit out of coffee on an airplane.
I do too, but you're not supposed to because, as you just said, most of those machines anywhere probably aren't being cleaned. But on the planes...
Right. Yeah, there's no sink and like soap where they can rinse that out.
Hasn't killed me yet, so who cares?
That's the thing.
We're all just a bunch of dumb apes running around anyway, trying to pretend we're not.
Meat space
But we are, yeah, we are. We're like, just getting in our dumb cars and trains and...
Yes, that's the way I view it. If you saw a chimpanzee skateboarding, you'd laugh, but it's a human, and it's not that big.
Right, yeah. We're like 0.01% different from chimps
look at that chimp.
genetically. And then,
one of these scooters.
Right, he's got a cigar in his mouth. Yeah, but look at that man. He's respectful.
Right, he's got
it blows my
that
mind.
businessman with the cigar should be respected.
Lucky says this, and it sounds very positive. I say this, and like, stop being negative.
Yeah.
What is it about my presentation that's much more negative than his?
Look at how people are just silly. We're just silly apes.
Yeah.
Dancing, for example.
We're dancing.
Oh,
if any other animal, not even an ape, was dancing, you'd be laughing at it. Look at this thing.
Yeah, look at him go.
Moving and contorting their bodies to beeps and boops.
Yeah, to the rhythm of the beeps. Here's a fun thing about we stupid ape humans, but we think we're such hot shit. You are not taken serious as a male. I'm going to go with males.
Okay.
You are not taken seriously in sort of professionally or respectfully if you don't have a small strip of fabric tied in a knot around your neck.
Ooh.
Preferably in a bow. Like, if you're going to a fancy event, sir, you should put a bow around your neck like a fucking cat.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Tie this thing around your neck.
This long piece of fabric, it has to go in a knot around your neck and dangle.
And there's different types of
you're
knots.
serious.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
we take you seriously. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
It really is.
All hats are just leaves used to put on our heads to stop the rain from falling on it. Every hat is a giant leaf. It's the same thing. We think we're such hot shit because we learned how to build a car. We're not.
Because we learned how to build a car.
Yep.
That is where it goes.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at these things. Look, there are things that humans have done. You can look at and say, that's cool.
All we've ever done is we invent things to make it easier on us.
Or to get laid. Or to get laid. Architecture, especially.
But to make it easier to get laid.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
We're lazy. We're lazy apes.
Well, and that's why humans take advantage of situations.
Yeah.
Is because it was probably advantageous when you needed to get something before someone else to survive. But now when you do that, you're seen as a monster.
Everything in our world. Dogs
are
are in our world because they hunt the same way that we do. And so it was like we started grabbing them as puppies back when we were living in caves. Mm-hmm. And they got along with us because we feed them and we hunted the same way. And so but it made it easier on people, right? Like, oh man, it's tough to send old Jim out there to scare that mammoth. But if we send a couple of these yappy dogs out there, the mammoth will run right to us.
Right.
Easier on us.
Right.
I feel like dominance is part of it too. The way people have bred dogs that hold no actual value for something like hunting, just because people did it because they could.
Yeah.
Like a bulldog that can't breathe.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Its whole life is spent pretty much suffocating, and it lives 6 years.
Yeah.
And people are like, I did that.
How about
we
bulldogs
made that.
in the South, especially, like just like panting for their life
Can't
because
walk,
they can't sweat. They can't.
bow-legged.
It's a nightmare.
There's no reason that animal should exist.
No,
And then just
because
chop
every
it.
dog is a wolf. Every single dog is a wolf.
Yeah,
at
trace
heart.
it back. That's what it is.
Yep. And every dog thinks it's a wolf, but they're stuck in these shit bodies we've bred them into. Anyway, sandwiches.
Well, I was going to take it back with think of watching a chimpanzee eat a sandwich. That'd be fun to watch. Too.
Yeah,
making
one.
a sandwich,
make
Making
this.
one, yeah.
spreading.
But the thing is you could teach a chimp to make a sandwich, and then that chimp would keep making that sandwich, and it'd be like, oh, well, we're not that hot. Like a chimp can make a sandwich.
Well, we're still different because we wash our hands after we ship, before we make the sandwich. Except
That's
for
right.
Autumn.
Except for me. I love the idea of a sandwich that's represented in cartoons. You know how, like, in cartoons, they'll be, like,
Gigantic,
really
yeah,
tall,
right.
and they always have the little olive and the pick at the top.
Here's the deal. That was probably a trend maybe somewhere in the 40s or something.
Yes.
I also used to work a lot more with puppets back in the old days, and I had a sandwich puppet for a long time, and that was the number. It didn't have any eyes. It was just a talking sandwich.
Okay.
And everyone would always say, hey, you should give him a couple of olives up there as his eyes. And I was like, when is the last time you saw olives and toothpicks on top of a sandwich?
Never.
Tell me in real life
never.
when that has ever... Never. Oh, but isn't that what they do?
Here it
Yes,
is.
Greg?
It's a Dagwood sandwich, a tall, multi-layered sandwich made with a variety of meats, cheeses, and condiments. It was named after
Dagwood Bumstead
yes.
from the Blondie comics. Sure.
There you go.
So they drew that in the comic?
He loved eating gigantic sandwiches,
Yeah.
and so a Dagwood sandwich became that
I want that
huge
sandwich.
stacked.
You can make that sandwich.
Well,
It'd be impossible to eat.
You can go to delis like the Carnegie, I think, still sells. Is the Carnegie
shut
even there
down.
anymore?
They
Shut
shut it
down, but
down.
there is still one. Katz's is still going.
Katz is still there.
You can still get a giant one of those sandwiches at Katz.
It's $23 at this point.
It's insane, man.
It's one of the
dude,
only-
you're getting a lot
It
of
is,
homemade
it's-
pastrami for that $23.
You
though.
are. And they always give you the sample. You go in.
And it's not a thing you
that's
want to
nice.
go every day, right? You know, you go to Katz's maybe once or twice a year.
It's become a tourist place, too. But
Oh,
they
yeah,
haven't
it's sad.
changed it fully to just cater to
There's
tourists.
another one of the really old ones that's still going on up there. I can't remember which one it is, but it sells a giant.
No, Katz is still good.
snack.
The
Yeah.
food is certainly
Yeah, top notch.
worth trying at some point.
Autumn,
Hmm.
you've teased this shit show of a sandwich that you love so much.
It's
I think it's time we go there.
It's not. I don't make this sandwich often, but when I do make like a turkey sandwich,
Mhm.
it's okay. It's gotten better. So let me start from the beginning.
Is
Yes,
there a
Greg.
mood that strikes you? Since you don't make this sandwich often, is it something you'd like to make often and you don't have the time to do it or the
No,
patience? Or
we
is it a mood?
no. We typically we shop at Aldi a lot,
Right,
and so they
sure.
don't have the good deli meat. It's always in that plastic
Yep.
like
Tub.
tub thing. So if I wanted to make something with turkey, I usually don't really. I think about when I'm eating it. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Turkey. It's
Yeah,
like
sure.
processed
Weird.
goop,
Yeah,
whatever.
Right.
So-
it is just slurry.
Yeah. So when I do have the slurry turkey and I make a sandwich, this was in the past. I used to put ketchup, and then the turkey, and that's it.
Oh man, that is the worst and grossest.
But I would crack some pepper on there sometimes.
Oh, it makes it even worse. I think. I would say, if anything, throw some Tabasco on there or something. Turkey
Nope.
and ketchup sandwich,
Turkey
like
and
on white
ketchup.
bread.
Honey wheat.
Oh boy.
know?
Oh, Autumn. First of all, just putting ketchup on any sandwich, it's like, come on, man.
I know.
Slice a tomato.
No,
What are you putting?
tomato. I didn't have a
Ketchup is
tomato
lucky.
until I was in my 20s.
Ketchup is lucky enough to find its way to my fries, let alone anything else. I don't like ketchup.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But no, it's dumb. A tomato sauce. It's like that's
Yeah.
all it is. Cold tomato sauce. Weird.
My roast beef sandwich would be the same bread that I discussed, the
Right.
honey wheat, and the roast beef and some Swiss. That's it.
Roast beef and
Nothing.
Swiss is delicious.
That's fine.
But that's it. No
No
horseradish.
condiment?
No mayonnaise. Mayonnaise? No, I don't put mayonnaise on anything. The only thing that maybe I'll put it on is like maybe a ham sandwich, but like the ones that are like carved from the ham. Like if you got like a honey baked ham or something from Thanksgiving or Easter or whatever, I'll put that on a sandwich.
Why is Easter the ham holiday? Because it is.
Yeah,
it really is a ham holiday.
It's a Christmas thing too. You could have a ham for Christmas.
It is, but nothing like Easter.
Yeah.
Easter is when everybody just eats ham.
I don't know. Is it because
Let's eat ham.
Is it sweet? And
is
so
it because pig Jesus? Like what if it's a pig? Have anything to do with the rising of Jesus?
It's about
pig meat.
Pigs being reborn as
Jewish
something
people
delicious.
Can't eat ham, kosher. It's not kosher.
Oh, maybe.
So
but I love.
Yeah, we're eating ham today.
And I don't want to get deli ham. Really, I feel like that's slurry. I'd rather
that
get.
Boris had deluxe ham. That's good.
Really?
It's the most basic of them all.
I want
mustard
the
too.
fat on the edge of the ham piece. I want that in there.
You
yes.
chew on that.
I came up with a huge. I just went to Detroit a couple of weeks ago and came back with a big slab of honey baked ham that my parents had got because I was coming up, and I just finished the last of it last night. It was delicious.
Did it have the fat on it?
Oh yeah,
Delicious.
with the sweet
crunchy
ring on the outside. Yeah, and then that with some really super spicy hot mustard. I just eat that shit like the ham with the mustard right into my mouth.
Your sandwich is your mouth.
Sit there in front of the TV.
The bread is your mouth.
Sit there in front of the TV with like ham and a jar of a bottle of mustard. I'm gross.
I the other day I ate a whole sleeve of saltines, just dipping it directly into the peanut butter jar.
Dude, you know what is a happy treat for me is saltines and just butter.
Yeah.
Just butter a saltine and eat it. Oh, so good. You know what else butter is amazing on that people don't ever think about? You toast a Pop-Tart, then butter that
I do that too.
It's the best.
It is the best.
It completely changes the Pop-Tart game.
Yeah.
Just butter a hot Pop-Tart.
Yep.
Fucking crazy good.
And
Am I
then you
allowed
can't
to
go
curse
back.
on this
Of course
podcast?
you are.
I've been cursing this whole time.
Nope, it's fine.
Getting back
I don't
to,
know who this audience is.
I don't know. I don't know
to.
who the audience is.
I just made fun of Christians at Easter.
Well,
no, they're
no,
the people who are
disliking
listening are
Jewish
friends. They're
people.
fine.
Okay, good.
random people come up. I like the show. I don't know how to gauge who likes us or
Yeah,
who
great.
doesn't.
It doesn't matter. You should just make the show you like.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
assume most
An
people
audience
hate
will
us.
find it. Just stick with it, and an audience will find it. That's the whole key to podcasting. If you're not of Conan O'Brien status,
Oh,
where
I
you can
know.
have an instant hit.
Yeah.
What a drag! Like people in the trenches of this art form for so long, and then dudes like Conan can just go like, "Oh, that sounds fun. I'm not making enough money doing a daily television show and all
Right.
my other cool things. I think I'll get into this game and immediately just dominate." And then there's all these articles like, "Wow, the podcast revolution has begun. Here comes Conan," and it's like, has begun.
Yeah.
The revolution's over, and now the rich people are moving in. They're gentrifying.
Right. They are.
Jesus.
Everything has a supplementary podcast now to go with it.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And I wonder how long that is going to last.
Until the next thing, until TikTok figures out how to turn that into like
God.
a long form. I don't even know what TikTok is, but I had to do a buddy of mine's little daughter. She was doing TikToks all evening, and I had to do one while I danced around with her. That was it.
Yeah. There's a whole thing of like moving the camera and looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like the new Vine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. R.I.P. Vine.
The fact that podcasts are usually long form, though, in a world where everyone says long form does not work.
Oh, it completely works. In fact,
I agree. So people look at this. Why can't they see? There is a market for it. There is an audience for it.
podcasts are mainly listened to people that have jobs where they can sit with headphones all day and like crunching numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to Floyd County Productions where they're making Archer and a bunch of other cartoons. It's as silent as church, like on a Wednesday at 3:00 in the morning, right? Like it's just, there's no sound going on because every one of those artists are sitting with headphones on their heads, listening to podcasts, listening to music, so it's just people stuck in the grind all day that need distraction in their cars. What a great thing to listen to. So why not talk for an hour about sandwiches
Right.
plus other
I'm all
crap?
for it.
Yeah, me too. It's great.
We're still going to do
I
the
wish
stock
I had
show.
gotten into it a long time ago, but I could never find a crew. I was always looking like, because, doing one alone.
I liked your crew that you had with Dad's.
Except that we...
It was a little volatile, I guess.
Yeah, and we ended up like hating each other,
Yeah.
and so we had to stop to save our friendships.
You
we're all
also-
really good friends, but
You also have to dedicate yourself to it because a lot of podcasts
it
start
has to be...
and then they stop.
It has to be...
And you say, I'll take a week off.
Consistent.
every week, and it just go. I'm really good friends with Travis McElroy of the McElroy Brothers, who do My Brother and Me and Adventure Zone, and they are now making fortunes being podcasters, but they started 10, 12 years ago and have been doing it every week since then.
Wow.
And it's just now caught on, right? A couple of years ago, it finally caught on.
Makes me feel
and
better.
everybody's like, oh, overnight success. And they're all like, yeah, overnight. We've been slugging away at it for 10 years.
Well, speaking of long form, the long form sandwich, the hero, or the sub, or the hoagie.
Yeah, or there's another one. Hoagie, hero,
Grinder.
Grinder, that's what it is.
Which, wow, that went weird when it became a gay hookups app.
Grinder.
Yeah.
I usually get the sub sandwich, and when I sit there and eat that, I realize it's strange because I'm eating a whole loaf of bread.
Yeah,
it is. It's just a whole loaf.
Yeah, you'll sit down and eat an entire loaf of bread and don't think twice.
Yeah, if someone handed you the same size loaf of bread and said,
like,
eat this.
and a
no.
chunk of cheese, you'd be like, I will not shit for a month if I eat this whole thing. But yeah, throw some fatty meats on there. Yeah, it's insane.
And I try some. I'm only going to have half. I'll have the other half tomorrow. Put it in the refrigerator.
Yep.
Doesn't work.
You really start noticing that when, like, I've past 50 years old, when you just can't fucking tighten up like you used to be able to, and it's just like I am not eating that whole thing. There's no way, man. I'm just gonna be a fat, gross old man if I eat a whole goddamn loaf of bread and all that kind of stuff. I'll eat maybe a quarter, like a sub like that. That'll last me 3-4 days.
What kind of thing do you like on a sub?
Well, it's the same meats we've been talking about. I'll get a regular sandwich with the roast beef or turkey. Been going with the honey maple turkey boar's head recently.
Oh.
When I get cheese on it, here's what I end up doing. Picking the cheese off and eating it plain. It's like, yeah, throw it on there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't taste it on the sandwich. It gets lost.
Oh, it kind of does.
Unless it's a strong cheese.
You know what I do that's sort of in this same vein? Just about every time I get a salad, I'll end up eating it with my fingers. I abandon a fork generally halfway through a salad.
A lot of times with a sandwich, halfway through, I'll deconstruct it and eat the pieces
just
separately.
Eating pieces. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, we're dumb apes. Picking apart like this little thing with my fingers because this is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And we invented these little stabby things so that we, because it's hot. We started cooking things and we didn't like burning our little fingertips, so we made a fork.
That's right.
We're just apes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Apes that think we're smart.
Yeah, eating a salad, we're eating a bowl of leaves.
Yeah.
If somebody just came up and gave you a bowl of leaves off a tree, get that shit out of here.
The ground?
Yeah, right. Yeah. There you go.
What? No.
It's like I watch like Rick Steves. You ever watch Rick Steves on the PBS? Rick Steves, he's this excited travel guy.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I love little travel shows like that. But every once in a while, they'll go to a coastal thing and they'll be with like some person that's down there harvesting seaweed for their restaurant or something. And they'll go down to the little thing in the water and they'll eat that shit right out of the water. And they're like, oh, it's delicious. And you're like, look at us. Just a bunch of dumb monkeys down by the water plucking seaweed out and eating it. But that's all we need.
The sooner people could accept this, the better off humanity would be.
It really would be. We think we got to get off our high horses, man. We're not that cool.
No.
We're just apes. Relax.
True genius lies in realizing what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah, we are. We're just
anyone who can admit that, like, you're actually smarter than most of these people.
A lazy war ape.
Thinking about being an ape and thinking about finding something like a pineapple for the first time.
Yeah. How do I get in there?
Spiky thing, or even a coconut, or like an artichoke.
Yeah. Oh,
an artichoke's in pot. Like,
speaking of PBS, there's this brilliant, I don't know, he's some Italian storyteller guy that has a cooking show. And he does a thing. Think about the first time a guy ever saw an artichoke and was like, I'm going to eat that. Yeah, there's
that
no way.
Spiky, weird leaf thing. I can't figure it out.
You have to scrape the leaves, right? Because you can't just
the only
eat the
meat.
leaf.
The only part you eat is the very end of the leaf, and then stuff in the core. And if you don't do that properly,
you get to that
then
heart, man. It's all this hairs.
That's right, and you have to take it apart in a very specific way, or those little hairs get caught in your throat, and then I don't know what you die. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I think of all the people that die just trying the thing. You know what I
sure.
mean? Like, what's this berry? Oh,
yeah.
Dead.
I know. They tell you constantly, like, don't eat mushrooms you don't know about.
Yeah.
Don't eat berries you don't know about. And
generally,
then what about when no one knew about anything?
Well, and generally, the more poison something is, the more brightly, weirdly colored it'll be to fend things off, but for people it's like candy. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if anything, it shows
shiny.
It shows that we're dumber than other animals because there was a learning curve where people had to eat things they weren't supposed to eat and die because animals like cats in the wild or anything in the wild, they know there's just a sense built in. Don't eat that berry. Don't eat this
Their
thing.
noses are more sophisticated, probably can smell something in it that they're not supposed to.
Well, we figured it out because we're smarter. Yeah, how many people died in the process?
Yeah. It was undocumented at the time, so we're not sure.
We just don't know how many berry deaths there were back in the old days.
This isn't the same thing, but I always think about someone eating an orange for the first time and be like, holy shit.
What? Yeah, exactly. Did you know that
flavor? Like, people didn't experience that flavor.
You know we're about to lose bananas?
Why?
Bananas, they're going extinct. There's a fungus, and this happened to the last banana that people used to eat. The banana we eat today, that thing you know as a banana, is not the banana that people were eating, I think even 70 years ago or something like it. It was a completely different banana.
Wow.
In fact, I've heard that the old bananas may have been the inspiration for that fake banana flavor. If you get banana candies and where you're like, wow, this is weird. Yeah. This is a weird banana. That is more like the old bananas that we moved to, and that one died out from some fungus.
Wow.
And so banana trees now are catching some disease and they're being wiped out. And so now it's sort of the development of what's the next banana going to be. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is really weird.
We're going through a banana change.
Your favorite flavor? Autumn cannot stand what she calls the fake banana flavor.
Fake banana.
But
fake banana flavor.
now it
But
seems
what
as though
if?
maybe...
Imagine,
now I'm like, oh, it's so vintage.
And imagine peeling a banana and biting in and going it's the real version of that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't know how much of those fake fruit flavors you can trust anyway.
Oh, well, raspberry is always blue raspberry.
Yeah, because there's already red, and that's usually cherry or strawberry, so they don't want to throw another red in there. They just made it blue.
Yeah, and you're not going to sort of get a blueberry flavored anything because true blueberry flavor is much more subtle.
Yes.
Than your smack you in the face raspberry.
Great antioxidants, though, the blueberries.
Same with blackberries, which is even more subtle of a flavor than blueberries.
It always gets stuck in my teeth.
I love the raspberries that you can eat whole because I really like the little seeds. And then you find them later and you're like, numb them up because we're monkeys.
Yeah, fucking just like a bird. Just like a bird in a tree.
With my beak, which is my tooth, my top and my bottom tooth that can touch. That's my beak.
We sell bags of sunflower seeds, seeds from a flower. Nom, 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 nom.
I always think about this when I'm eating a corn on the cob, just gnawing on the thing.
Yeah. Delicious, but also corn is grass.
Yeah,
that's
corn,
the other thing too.
Yeah, they bred it to be this huge thing, but it used to just be these
tiny. Right. Just like fucking bananas. It used to be this weird other thing. And that we just kept messing with.
Just like the dogs.
Apes that kept messing with things.
That's what we do.
We're this weird ape that nope, keep tinkering. Yep. It'll get weirder.
Maybe it makes us feel like we have control over the world and we don't.
We do enjoy that. Oh, well, yeah.
But it gives us a sense that we do.
Yeah, we'll
control the land. We'll control how the thing that we put in the land grows.
You need it because when you have we do have evolved brains compared to other animals, even though we are stupid apes. When you have that ability to think critically, you go insane if you didn't think you had some purpose or control. I'm just here. What is the point of any of this? And that's what I can't. I know that this isn't true, and this is why life can be difficult. It doesn't matter.
The thing that really broke us is the invention of a fiction, pretending, essentially a lie. Mm-hmm. Right? Everything, we're masters of communicating with one another. Both verbally, and then we figured out drawing and writing pretty early in the game. So you could having that something representative of something else was a huge break of I can see this. You drew these lines, but it looks like that beast out there. What the shit?
Yeah.
Putting that together. But then, everything was factual. Okay, down by the river, there's a herd of beasts for us to kill. But then if there was the one guy you don't like, and then the first guy that went, no, down over there's a thing that you like, and the guy goes that way, and you're like, what? Yeah. It worked. So then because we want to think we're such masters of the universe, controversial thought coming up, not thought, it's actual truth. We created these space lords
right.
that like we were made in their image. So that space lord gave us dominance over this because look, he's like us. Nobody's ever seen this giant. If there was this giant being controlling everything, why wouldn't he show up every once in a while, just show his face in the clouds?
Or her face.
Whatever it is.
Well, if there was this being in the sky, you would think that he or she, it would really just be an it
Yeah,
at
right.
that point, would want to assert its dominance like we do, so it would show
yes,
up.
and if we're made in their image.
That's the thing. There are these leaders that demand you go to this building and kneel in front of this being that does not show up for the kneeling. He just somehow psychically or through the man that's standing up on the altar.
It shows up in different ways.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That's just the world.
It would show up to every single kneeling, like, yes, me, kneeling for me.
Right.
There'd be no way the ego wouldn't be huge.
Also, just the wars that are fought over which version of the Space Wizard is the correct version of the Space Wizard. So many murders have happened based on that alone that you would think the Space Wizard would show up just to go, it's me. I'm the one.
Yeah.
So stop murdering each other if he's at all or she is at all invested in this species that bows down before it every week. It would say, like, it's me. Just make the one style of church to go to instead of creating all the different ones.
You don't need to be killing like kids and stuff,
me,
you know? Yeah.
Not all these ideas of what it could be.
Here's how you can best pleasure me. That's what it would come down to.
Yeah.
I would love to see a flow chart of the show, how we got from sandwiches.
I know, this is called One Topic.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, it's good.
It's the problem with Lucky Yates.
Have you seen Dave, the movie Dave, with Kevin Kline?
No.
And he
like stumbles into the presidency or something?
Yeah, he looks just like the president, and then the president's a real jerk, and he dies of a heart attack while he's having an affair on his wife, who's Sigourney Weaver. And so they find this guy, Dave, to replace the president.
He's just like, let's not.
He's just like a normal guy.
Yeah.
And he's very like hardworking and sweet and great. And so everyone is noticing that the president after this heart attack has been really nice. And like, what's going on? In this movie, for some reason, there's this side sort of story where he makes a really delicious sandwich. And he makes it for a friend of his that he brings in, just like a normal guy, to help with the budget. Like they sit down all night and like fix the budget. And then he makes the sandwich for his like budding interest with Sigourney Weaver. And I wanted to read to you the ingredients. So it's lemon wedges for the juice, cucumber, turkey, tomato, pickle, shredded carrot, olives with the pimentos, pickles, mustard, mayo, leaf lettuce, provolone cheese, ham, and cheddar cheese.
Well, there's a lot going on in this sandwich.
Yeah.
There's
what do you think about that?
There's there's way too many ingredients. That is like a Dagwood sandwich that we were talking about earlier. There's way too many ingredients going on there.
Yeah.
You're not going to enjoy
twice.
but you're still not going to enjoy them individually, right?
Yeah, turkey and ham.
Which I'm not opposed to. You go to a Publix and their ultimate sub is like turkey, ham, and roast beef, I think, and it's delicious.
Is it?
But again, you're just sort of, it just becomes a meat mash at that point, like a festival of.
I hope that we have a restaurant in the future and call it a meat mash sandwich, and it's just ham, turkey, and roast beef.
It's just a bunch of ground meats all in a bowl.
Would you like that chip meat mash or sliced?
So what purpose does the sandwich serve in the movie? Is it the vehicle to form relationships with people?
It does with Sigourney Weaver because he takes her out of the White House to go buy the ingredients for the sandwich. They like sneak out through like the tunnels that take you out into the rose garden.
That's actually very romantic. I've said this before. I think going to the grocery store is one of the most romantic things you can do with the person you like because it's so mundane. So if you want to go do this thing together, it's very boring.
Here's my question though: does Sigourney Weaver know it's not her husband?
She doesn't know at first. She thinks he's just being really nice, and then eventually. So
their plan was to just pretend you're married to that lady. If you guys end up banging, what are you going to do? She thinks you're another man.
Well, there's a funny scene where he's in the shower and he's singing a song. He's singing, hail to the chief. He's the chief and he needs hailing. Hail to the chief because he keeps himself so clean.
Wow,
he's got the power because he's in the shower. And she comes in and like tries to talk to him and he's very embarrassed because he's nude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But for her, And
she's like, why?
She said, why did you cut my budget for whatever nice thing I'm trying to do, mean president?
And then she says, where did that foreskin come from?
Right, yeah, like, oh, hey now. It's like your wiener is vastly different than the last time I saw it.
Huh?
Well, my who?
Tell me the truth, come clean now.
You thought I was having an affair, but I was really having this foreskin surgery.
Yeah, surprise.
But I made you a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's got turkey and ham.
And dick cheese.
Olives.
Oh, no. That was not in the ingredient list, dick cheese.
Schmegma.
Ugh. So at first, the sandwich, I think, was just made to show, like, he's just like a kind of nice guy who has a
no nice
specialty
guy would make
sandwich.
That's too many. That's too much. No regular person has that intense of a sandwich going on in their
and
life.
I don't like the idea of, I don't really like olives, but pickles and olives together? Would you do that?
No.
That's too tangy.
Yeah,
like,
but they're similar.
Yeah.
They've got brine.
They're two brined things that are going to fight.
And then a cucumber. You've got like
Why
baby
do you have a pickle and a cucumber?
Yeah, I don't know.
What about I know it's not on here, but a banana pepper. Would you put that on with pickles?
No.
No, it's pretty good.
I'd
You
say
should try it.
that.
I do.
Yeah, it's good.
The problem with he's got cucumbers and lemon juice, that's an acid plus a cucumber, which is exactly what a pickle is. It's vinegar and cucumber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like he's doubling down, but like having them compete against one another.
Does it need lemon juice? If anything, put some red wine
vinegar.
oil.
Lemon juice would be nice if he kept it to like, okay, it's a turkey. All right, I'll give him turkey and ham. I got turkey and ham on this.
Okay.
Has he got a leaf on there?
Yes, leaf lettuce. That's
leaf lettuce. Okay, tomato, and then if you got tomato on there, and then you throw on your lemon juice, that'd be really good.
Okay.
Acid thrown on that tomato will really zing it up, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
But stop there, Dave.
Yes,
you can
come
throw
on.
your cheese on there too if you want.
Yeah, he's got provolone and cheddar.
You can probably even throw your cucumbers on there.
Provolone and cheddar.
Yeah, well, provolone is so mild that cheddar is just going to knock it right
so
down.
there's no point.
What's
There's
the
no
point?
point to it.
Yeah.
Provolone's really only a good cheese for melting. It's not good just a slap on a sandwich. It's too...
Cheesesteaks, they put it on.
Yeah.
It really
it
gets
depends, right? Because some people like Cheese Whiz is the real one.
You can do the Cheese Whiz. Yeah, there's a debate that goes on with that one.
Cheese wit. I've never had a Philadelphia, one of the classics.
Cheesesteak?
I've never been to the...
Not even here in Atlanta, the Woody's.
Well, I've been to Woody's, but it's like the Woody's version. It's not. I can't get it with Cheese Whiz like they do in the Philadelphia.
Oh, they don't do Cheese Whiz there.
No, it comes with provolone.
Usually you have the choice. You can do American, you can do provolone or Cheese Whiz, or all three if you really want. My first alter ego was Joe Salandini. Was a guy who ran a Philly connection.
Philly connection.
I love the
connections were
Philly.
good. There used to be a Philly connection at Ansley Mall here in town, and I used to hit it every once in a while.
Philly connection is your
man.
cheesesteak champion.
They were delicious.
That was the password to the Facebook account I created.
Cheese was
Cheesesteak champion.
Cheesesteak champion. Oh man, a Philly cheesesteak is a great sandwich. That is a great. sandwich.
I don't like the cheese on it.
Interesting.
So you like the Philly steak?
I just like a steakum. You remember your mom would make some steakums? Yep. Yeah, I just
Minute Steaks.
Oh, they're
was the other brand.
They're so thin and frozen.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, and they have those little pieces of paper in between. You shake them off like shingles. And you're a greasy mess after. But chips with that too.
Greg.
Yes.
Did you tell us what your favorite sandwich is? We talked about subs and hoagies.
Yeah, what do you get at
when you go to the
Jendel?
bodega and you're getting a sandwich? What are you asking for? Usually,
it's usually either a turkey. There's so many varieties these days. There's the boar's head. I always stick with the boar's head. Buffalo chicken when that's sliced thin.
You enjoy
that's
that?
a good one.
Yeah, the chicken.
Chicken's a tough one for a sandwich.
I don't like chicken lunch meat.
I'm okay
feel like
with
you're
it.
going too cheap.
Yeah,
like you're really going.
I'm okay with it.
low.
I agree with that. But sometimes when you're eating this every single day and you realize you've had the roast beef for the last 5 days in a row, like I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to make my life pretty exciting tonight. I'm going to do something wild, out of the ordinary. If I posted about this, it'd blow people's minds. So going in, what I usually get there is, it's all very boring. It's just the turkey. only mayonnaise as you've already established with turkey. I never get ham from the deli. If I get ham, it's something I buy from the store, and I'll make some ham sandwiches. That's strictly a mustard meat. And then the roast beef
completely 100%. Oh, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't for me.
Yeah, right.
And then
mustard meat.
and then the roast beef is both mustard and mayo. We'll do both on there.
For which one?
Roast beef.
Roast beef. Yeah, okay. I'm down with that. I'm down with the mustard mayo combo because it's basically like getting to the horseradish sauce area.
Are you ever concerned when someone makes a sandwich for you, the ratio of condiment?
They will always
use?
put too much of all of the sauces. They will always put too much.
Okay.
Even if you tell them go light, they generally will put too much on there.
Okay.
It's like, come on, man.
Now, the grilled cheese, I'm still a big fan of. A Munster cheese is great. That's a great melting cheese.
Do you do anything special with your grilled cheese?
I put spicy mustard on one side of it. That's it.
Boy, back in the day, I really considered myself to be a grilled cheese connoisseur.
Yes, a gourmand.
If we were having this conversation a decade ago, it would
potato
have been
bread,
all
by the
grilled
way.
cheese all the way. Oh,
for the grilled cheese.
Interesting.
What kind of grilled cheeses did you make, Lucky?
I really dig the straight up. You got Kraft American singles going on there. No, you say no.
Never.
You are out of your mind. This is the classic. You get your Kraft American singles. You get a good bread. You get your nice wheat or whatever you want to go with bread. You butter that shit on the outside. You can use olive oil if you want to.
No butter.
No butter.
Saying you want
Definitely
to be a
butter.
little zingo, but you get it like brown to where it's almost burnt, but not burnt. And you gotta flip that shit. Here's the thing: cut it in quarters.
Oh.
A pickle chip on each slice, on each quarter. One
bread and butter
chip.
pickle or dill?
Your dill, your hamburger dill.
Okay.
I would try that.
Blow your mind.
Yeah?
And when I was a kid, I ate grilled cheese sandwiches all the time. And then one day, my Aunt Isabel was over, and she went, "Are you eating a grilled cheese sandwich without a pickle?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "You need to get some pickle slices on those." And I did it, and I never looked back.
That's really sweet.
I was like, "This is mind-blowing. What?"
I'm going to run with that. Pickles are a weakness for me. If I buy a jar of pickles, they will be gone in one sitting.
Pickles are
and then I will drink the brine.
Yeah.
Sip
That's
on
a
it.
very southern thing.
Yeah.
To be
Is it?
drinking pickle brine. Yeah.
It's good for you. It's got electrolytes.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
Just vinegar is good for you to take regularly.
Can I tell you how I make my grilled cheese?
Get that pH balance.
So it's just a regular bread. I don't ever have white bread in the house.
I never.
No,
never.
but if I make my own bread, like a sourdough bread or just like a fermented
bread's
yeast
so
bread.
hard to make. I would make bread all the time, but it's fucking.
This is Autumn's thing.
So
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
I hate baking. It's too specific
Oh,
to
I
everything.
love it. It's my favorite.
Like-
So if I make a bread, then I'll use that. But otherwise, just use whatever bread. Butter the bread. Put some garlic powder on it and sometimes some crushed red pepper
I
on
don't
it.
even know what this.
You
thing you're
butter
making is.
either if you're
garlic
late.
powder.
Yes. You put it down. You put a slice
Some kind of Stouffer's garlic bread recipe going
Yeah,
on.
You
you
should
buy-
have shit all over his pickles.
It's gonna end up. This is gonna end up. Never shit on my pickles.
Yeah. Well, I did shit on the Kraft American cheese.
Yeah, you really did.
Never.
Why?
Never. Because it is wax.
Hold on. Let's keep going. Let's keep going with you, and then we'll get back to the Kraft American single.
So it's a cheddar cheese. Sometimes, one or two slices, but if you use a second slice, then it has to be turned a quarter of a way so that the corners are still. It can't be like two on top of each other.
Yeah.
You
need a balance on the bread.
Yeah. You put you have it in the pan.
What kind of cheese is it?
Cheddar.
Cheddar.
You put a top on the
Sharp?
Sure.
Medium?
Extra sharp. Bring it any kind.
Cracker Barrel?
No.
Okay.
Because that may as well be Kraft American cheese.
Okay.
You put a lid on it so that it helps the cheese melt because cheddar is a little bit harder to melt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do the same thing with the other side of the bread. And then you dip that in ketchup. And then you get chips with it.
Jesus Christ.
You
with
got
the
chips
ketchup.
with it.
You
And
really,
sometimes you dip the chips in the ketchup. And you have yourself a
God.
greasy party.
Now, the chips in the ketchup I don't have a problem with because that's basically like
French fries.
right?
Yeah,
It's just like hard fries. But you're throwing it in ketchup. All the other ingredients are pointless. Like, what? Why have any of them if you're just going to slab ketchup on it?
Squirt the ketchup directly into your mouth. Just sit there if it's a squirt bottle or if it's one of the old Heinz 57 bottles.
When I was little at a McDonald's, I would ask for extra ketchup and I would open the packet and I would sip it out like a juice box.
When fast food places went to the old ketchup you could pump yourself, was that like, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever happened?
You know what I saw?
Just put my mouth underneath it.
You take so much care in like arranging the cheese so it hits the bread and all these ingredients, and then you just jam it in a bunch of ketchup and it ruins all of it.
It brings out
It brings out nothing. It covers up your mistakes.
I don't know why I like it. I just like the ketchup.
That is ketchup is a blanket. Yes, it's a cover up. It's a patch.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'm using it as some sort of coping mechanism for the sandwich. It's on my turkey sandwiches with the pepper. It's on my
Right. I think you
cheese.
like the ritual of making these things with the many ingredients. You're like Dave. That's why you like that movie so much.
I do like Dave.
You got all these these ingredients, and then and now to ruin them. Just like, this is why I can have nothing nice.
I'm not good enough.
I don't deserve
it.
Right.
No, it's like those Instagram accounts or sites online where there's perfectly symmetrical objects. People lay them out, and then the whole point is someone comes in and messes it up. People watch those to drive themselves crazy.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, look at this beautiful thing, or something's neatly organized on a desk, and then someone comes and lays something
Chaos.
yes.
Wow. Interesting. That's my sandwich experience, I think.
Wow, that's so sad.
That should be an Instagram account for you where you make these beautiful sandwiches, or just food in general.
Yeah.
And at the end, you just dump a bunch of ketchup.
Yeah, like
on
a beautiful steak with a mashed potato. I used to put
a nice chicken cacciatore.
Yeah. I used to put ketchup in my macaroni and cheese until I wised up and put barbecue sauce in it.
Oh my God. Oh, Autumn. When you were talking about cheddar cheese, though, it reminded me, man, I haven't thought about these sandwiches in forever. When I was a little kid, my mom used to make what we called melted cheese sandwiches. This was an open-faced thing. You would do it on toast. You would toast bread. And then you would just take, in a skillet, you would slice in cheddar cheese. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted it deluxe, you would get some pepperoni and sort of like chop up some pepperoni and get that in there, and then melt that in the skillet, and then you got your bread toasted, and then you just
dip it in ketchup.
You pour it. No. But you just pour this melted cheese and pepperoni all over your toast. Eat it with a fork and knife. Oh.
Wow. That's like, I feel like that's a fancy.
Almost pizza.
Almost
you know
pizza,
what? If you took your ketchup and just upped it to a pizza sauce, it would be great.
Interesting.
As a dipper.
Maybe I need to be an adult. And
well, now, and also, let me tell you this. This is a thing I I started doing as a stoner thing a few years ago, is making a pizza sandwich. And so you get your nice, Trader Joe's sells really great ciabatta rolls, but you get your general ciabatta roll, right? Slice that sucker open, put your cheese in there. I find Swiss works quite nicely, but provolone also works as well. Just put whatever
and the ciabatta has lots of the holes, right?
Right. So whatever you typically like on a pizza, you can just throw in there. You can throw your cheese and pepperoni and whatever other things you want to do there. Close that sandwich, wrap it in foil, and then you bake that thing in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes.
This is the Rich Apes version of the English muffin pizza that we made in first grade.
Right. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Or just like the 2019 version, right? Because English muffins have fallen out of vogue and ciabatta is hot, right?
Sure.
And then so you take that out, and when you unwrap it, it is this glorious, basically a pizza sandwich. All the pizza ingredients, except for the sauce, which I like to have on the side and keep cool to dip, because all the ingredients will be piping hot. But if you dip it in cool pizza sauce, it brings it to like the perfect thing in your
That appeals to me
mouth.
as someone who dips my hot grilled cheese into cold
so what
ketchup.
I'm saying is just like up it, just that whole concept. Take that just a step
You've
up.
shamed me enough that I feel like I need to.
I'm sorry for shaming you, but yeah, you. I guess you did really. You were stepping into pizza sandwich territory while I was lambasting you. They're like, that's not a grilled cheese. But it is sort of what I'm making as a pizza sandwich.
Yeah,
so
yours is
I
very.
apologize.
No, yours is much more refined. Mine was, I'm a naive. All this time, I should have been using tomato sauce.
Tomatoes. Well, or pizza sauce. The thing
Oh,
about
pizza
pizza
sauce.
sauce is that it even, it like, there's a lot more spices going on inside there. And it's
In a
less
tomato?
sweet. It's less sweet, I think, than a ketchup.
I would open up a jar of the 4 cheese Prego.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
That's great. That would work.
And don't feel bad about this, Autumn. If you dedicate yourself to some kind of self-growth, even if you get there later in life, you've still gotten there. Most people don't even try.
That's true.
So
yeah.
if you're learning these things now,
okay.
I don't want you
adapt.
paralyzing yourself by beating yourself up over this stuff. If you leave here today and you're going to try something new and you're thinking about things differently.
Perfect.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's exactly what it should be. Let me try that. That sounds weird and different. I'll try that out.
All right, Lucky. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, boy. We've talked about sandwiches and so much more.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
This has really been a delight.
Plug time. Anything you got you want to promote?
No.
Good.
No. Keep watching Archer when it comes around again next year. Season 11 of Archer coming at you
11
in 2020.
already.
Yeah, can you believe it?
I know. How many do they have? Is there like a contract or something until?
We just got picked up for season 11. So
Okay.
we'll probably go see how it goes.
Yeah.
This time.
How do you watch that show?
Right now you can watch them all on the Hulu. All the seasons of Archer are available on Hulu.
It's fun to see the progression of it and how it changes.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's neat.
The people, bucked when we started genre hopping because Archer was in a coma. But man, those seasons as a whole, those seasons are all super duper.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to promote something today.
Oh, what?
My Twitter account that sits unused at I Like Pretzels, but it was only about sandwiches. I only tweeted about sandwiches for maybe 3 months in 2009. So it sits there as an archive of sorts.
See? Everybody loves sandwiches.
It's true. Even if you don't even think about it, you actually do love sandwiches.
You do?
Yeah.
Everybody does. Firehouse subs wouldn't be a big hit. Are there still Quiznos? Well, I don't know.
There are. I just ate a Quiznos in the airport.
I feel like Quiznos are like Schlotzsky's, where they're just like, soon there will be like one in the tri-state area.
We didn't mention Subway and how horrible.
No, that's fine. That's understood.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. That man named Jared took care of that for us.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. You can find us everywhere if you search for us One Topic. We're on Instagram and we're on Facebook. Go like and rate us on iTunes. We like to see the ratings go up because it's fun to see your comments. And is that it? I think that's it.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Good. Share. I always like to say share the show. That's how these things grow.
Share the show for someone who's an interesting person.
Don't oversell it, though. Don't say, I know this amazing show. Just say, I know this show that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, having me on will get you 3s of listeners.
Yes. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
You know, I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's got to be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients.
What?
0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hop Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's...
Yes, get a pen and paper.
1 Topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order, and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.